Good morning, guys. I just wanted to kind of get on here and talk a little bit more about the last video that I posted. So I talked about the mother and son dynamic that the marriage counselor had identified with us, and it nailed it right on the head. Like, it makes sense, right? Because I was a single mom and I didn't know how to be in a relationship. I just knew how to be a mother. So it's almost in the sense that I've kind of done this to myself, now that we're having all these issues. Wow, I got my hair all over me from my cats, my dogs. So if there's a mother and son dynamic, right, that means there's also a father and daughter dynamic in a relationship where the husband feels like a dad and the mother is just kind of running rampant like a kid. And I find that very interesting too. I can identify it a little bit in certain people that I know, and I'm like, wow, it's just the lacking of responsibility and awareness, which is terrible. It's hard for that, that kind of dynamic too, this is why to like operate. I'm pretty sure this is why people cheat all the time. It just makes sense, because they're carrying a weight. So I find that very interesting, and I'm wondering what would be a proper balanced dynamic. So that is something I'm trying to discover right now. Because I constantly, every day is work for me. Every day is a lot of work for me. I have to figure out if I am falling into that pattern again. I have to recognize it, and then I have to stop. And like the therapist said, she said that it's difficult to have to, it's going to cause a discomfort when I have to stop that pattern, right? And it sure as hell does, because I'm so used to doing it. And so every day is work for me. Now, on his end, I don't know. I don't even know if he knows the work that he needs to do. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm doing the work, and this, this marriage counseling is great. It's a great tool to use for all relationships, not just marriages. And it's good to know. I feel like I'm getting a lot of knowledge, whether this works out or not. It takes two people. It takes two people to be vulnerable. It takes two people to acknowledge, right? And if somebody's holding so much resentment, and it's just not going to work out. So I'm grateful for this. And I know this is going to be helpful regardless if things do work or they don't. But back to that, like, father-daughter dynamic. And then you have the mother-son dynamic. I guess what I'm really trying to explore, what is a good balanced relationship? My parents separated. There was no healthy, I didn't even see my parents really together in love. So I don't know what that looks like. I only know what that looks like through movies, and movies are liars. So I'm kind of on the exploration of that. The only thing that makes it quite difficult is when the other person is a little bit needy, and it triggers my wall. Then I'm like, whoa, back off. Like, I'm trying to figure out what is love for me. Like, I can't fill your cup right now, so that's making it a little bit difficult on my end. But yeah, we will see what happens. It's a lot of work. Marriage is a lot of work. It's definitely not like what you see on TV. It's not like happily ever after, no fights, no nothing. But I think that's what also TV sends us the wrong message of like, keep everything in, don't express your feelings. Because what happens when you don't express your feelings? Then you hold resentment and then you explode some other time. And it sucks because I'm so super sensitive to people's energies and I can read people that I can tell when I have an impact on my husband, but he's not identifying it. He doesn't want to identify it. And the mother-son dynamic I would always do is I would identify it for him. And I'm just kind of stunting his growth spiritually. And like, you know, his emotional awareness. So I have to stop doing that. So it's difficult. But it's nice to get on here and be able to kind of talk to somebody, talk to you guys. It's kind of like a diary of my life. I really don't keep anything private. I'm very transparent at this point. But yeah, that is all for today. I will check in again. You guys have a good day.